Derek here, and this is an MG3 belt-fed, automatic, electric, gearbox Nerf blaster. This thing is really cool. Now you heard that right, this runs on a gearbox. This is not a flywheel design, and that's because it has to be. In order to pull these links through, a flywheel simply wouldn't be able to do that, so there are plastic pieces on the inside that rotate, pulling the belt through. This MG3, this Nerf blaster, is $69. Nice. But you can only buy it from China, so I'll put a link down below as to where you can buy it. But again, you're ordering from China. It's probably going to take you like 30 days for it to get to where you are. At least that's how long it took to get to me on the West Coast. So just keep in mind, it'll take a little bit while for it to get to you, and I can't find it anywhere else. This gun comes with a slew of different things, most of which I don't have attached to the gun right now. The only extra piece that I have installed is just this sort of ACOG, which looks okay. It's not really the highest quality. It has a little bit of magnification, but like, there's not even really a reticle on it. There's not really any reason to use it aside for looks. The irons themselves are actually fine. Honestly, you'll probably be better off just using those. Anyway, the build quality of this thing, as you can probably tell by me just holding it one-handed, it's not entirely light, but it is entirely plastic, so it's not really heavy. To give you an idea, when they shipped this to me, the front end, this whole blue piece, the whole barrel, was not on the gun in the box. This is just a clamshell thing that they pulled apart, took off the front end, put it in a different box so that it would be smaller so they could ship it, which then concerned me that I had to open this and put it around the front end of this gun and maybe break it. It felt like I was going to. I didn't, thankfully, and this is connected just fine. Anyway, this also comes with an actual laser, and there are rails on the bottom you can add this to. It also came with a massive tripod, and there's a rail in the back here if you really wanted to use that for the tripod. I put it on the front one while I was filming, so I didn't have the laser on this. Whoops, I didn't really think about that. The website says it comes with 30 of these links. I only got 24, so when you buy this, it will only come with 24, and 24 is about the max you can actually fit in this little, like, drum magazine style thing. So I feel like 24 is the amount you will end up getting. That said, you don't actually need this drum. This just clicks into place. You don't actually need to have this on here. So if you wanted to make just a long belt and just shove it in and feed it through, you could 100% do that. I don't know if it would cause issues with the gun though, because if you're doing that, you're putting more weight on the pieces needed to pull the links in, and I can't imagine this is tremendously high quality on the inside. It doesn't give me the impression it's going to break. I just mag dumped this thing like a lot when I was filming, so it does seem fairly reliable, but anything to cut down on extra friction or extra wear and tear is probably a good idea. The magazine is overall very, very simple. You can actually open up the back of it, and I found it super easy to sort of feed in the links from the top with the back open and then just kind of wind them up on the inside. I never once had a jam with this. It worked perfectly fine. It always pulled the links out of this box, out of this drum, while I had it in here like this. And even when I was just feeding it directly from the belt without this, it still didn't jam. Like, this thing works really well, surprisingly better than I expected, especially because it's a little more complicated than usual Nerf blasters. You can, on the other hand, on this website, buy more of these links if you want them by going to the other page that sells the Nerf saw and clicking on those sort of extra, it'll give you like 24 extra links to put in here. So if you want more, I would highly recommend buying them. That would make reloading this thing a lot easier. Like, this is actually really awesome to use for Nerf games. You could totally reload this on the fly and have the same advantages and disadvantages of an actual LMG. Not the fastest reload, but you do get a good amount of ammo, especially if you get more of these links. This is an unusual Nerf blaster in many ways, one of which being that it is select fire without the need for some sort of electronic chip on it. Since this is a gearbox, when it's on safe, this is manual. You can go ahead and cock the gun this way, and this will pull in more links every time you cock it. It'll spin that thing to pull in another round, or you can put it on semi or full auto. This isn't the full rate of fire. This battery's been in here and I've used it a lot, so the battery could use some charging. But when you're done firing, when you put it to safe, it will decompress the spring, which is awesome. I've seen, I mean, most airsoft guns don't even have that. Let me go ahead and do it. And you will hear it. It is an audible noise, and you can tell that it's decompressed. This is good. A compressed spring is not really good for gearboxes, so being able to decompress it is a good thing. Just note, do not try to cock this gun when it's on semi or full auto. You will be putting pressure on the gearbox by doing that, pulling against what's pulling the spring and pulling against the gears. Don't do that. I mentioned this runs on a battery. The battery goes in the bottom here. It's just this little door. This is a tiny 7.4 volt LiPo. And the charger this gun comes with, I love the charger. It's just a simple USB charger with a red light that turns green when it's done charging. This totally fixes the problem of chargers not being universal, because everyone has a USB port. This, like, literally anywhere you are in the world, as long as you have power, you can charge this battery. That's awesome. Maybe even if you go into huge Nerf games with no power at them, but you bring your laptop, you can charge it with your laptop. It is the closest thing we have to a true universal battery charger. So on the website, it says it fires full-length darts. It 100% does not. It fires half-length darts. In the video, I'm going to show you of me shooting this thing once I'm done rambling. I used the darts this came with, and I found those don't really have the best performance. I later on used worker half-length darts, which I would highly recommend, and they worked much better. They fired harder, they fired more accurately. Overall, those are probably the darts you should use. They didn't jam either. So I would highly recommend buying those. I mean, they're fairly cheap. You can get 200 of them. I guess I'll also put a link down below in the video information for those. One other small thing is that the barrel is actually see-through on this, which is really cool. You can see the darts flying through the barrel as you're shooting. I don't know why. There was no reason for them to do that. I just think this is super, super cool. I mean, it's just huge diameter. It does not really help the accuracy in any way. But, I mean, it's neat. And other than that, I don't really think there's a whole lot more to say about this. No, there is one more thing to say about this. It also came with this giant sort of anti-air style sight. I didn't bother putting it on it. I think it looks stupid. But yeah, now I actually have nothing more to say. And I'm sure you're just wanting to see this thing shoot at this point, so let's just shoot it.